today I'm bringing you something slightly different. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm using the same papers, same paper collection, the Paige Evans 6x8 paper pad in the Splendid collection. That's all I bought out of her collection, okay? So I don't have all the ephemera, don't have all the other bits and whatever. So I am stretching this paper pad as far as I possibly can. Now, I decided on this page I was going to use some mixed media. So I chose my Distress Oxides, and the colours that I chose on this page is Wild Honey, Abandoned Coral, Picked Raspberry, Uncharted Mariner, and Evergreen BOUGH. Now, the reason I want to see how I'm pressing that instead of running my finger on it, I've learnt if you run your finger on it, you get a fingernail mark in it. So learn from my mistakes and don't run your fingernail on it. If you just tap it, you end up with a really cool splatter effect, which is really cool. I like that. Now, what I'm doing, I have to dry this off in between because I'm very, very conscious of not creating mud. Now, this is Evergreen BOUGH. Now, I don't know why, but I don't use this colour very often. But the paper that I'm using, the cardstock that I'm using on the back is the Poppycraft flat white cardstock. Now, it's a heavier cardstock, so I find that it doesn't warp as badly. Now, I have not put any gesso on the page whatsoever, so what you see is what you get. When it lands, there's no moving it. That's just where it's going to stay. Now, what I've used that's slightly different on this page is I have bought in the Abandoned Coral, and instead of reaching for my usual mustard seed, I've gone with Wild Honey. Geez, I love that colour. I love yellow. I have to tell you, I absolutely love yellow. Any opportunity I get to scrapbook with yellow, I will take it and I will run with it. And that's why I'm also being really, really cautious with these sheets, because I just love them. They're gorgeous. Okay. Now, I know I sound like I'm rushing. It's because I have to collect my daughter. She's still at training. And I have been fighting all day. We are getting our roads resurfaced. And because I live on a corner block, I have had heavy machinery all day beeping as they reverse, and it will be wonderful when it's done. I knew it was coming. I was preparing that it was going to come, but I have to do my voiceovers at night time for the next however many days so that I obviously don't have machinery noise in the background. So that's why I sound a little bit frazzled, because I'm trying to get this done in the tiny window that I have before I collect my daughter. But that's okay. So what I'm doing, if you saw yesterday's video, it was called What's Up Doc, okay? Now, that was an inspiration video, and this one's going to be an inspirational scrapbook video as well. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to show you that the same collection can look vastly different between layouts, yet you've used the same papers. The reason I'm using strips is because, as you probably saw me do yesterday, maybe, if not, if you're new here, pop over and have a look at that one to see how different I make these look. Alternatively, you can click on my Facebook page, which is below in the description, and you can have a look at the photos in the group. Either way, your call. And that way, if you look at the photos, I'm a visual learner, so I can look at something and I realize I'm very lucky to be able to do that. I thought everyone could do it, but I just have to look at something and I can generally work out how it's done. So that's why I started the Facebook group, so that if there's other people out there like me and maybe they like something that I've made, they can pop over there and look at the still shot and they're not having to pause videos and all that sort of thing. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm using the strips, but this time I'm using different widths. So yesterday I'm using different widths, and today I'm using all the foiled pieces, whereas yesterday there was no foil in any of the papers that I used. I allowed that one to just, I wanted to look at the papers without the foil. I just wanted to focus on those. Whereas today I wanted to pay homage to the gold foil because it's gorgeous. Now, I wasn't going to back this on any other cardstock, but I have a real thing at the moment where I feel like I need to frame my artwork. That's basically what it comes down to, is I want to have my pages in my scrapbook framed. That's just the evolution of a scrapbooker. And don't be afraid. Over time, your scrapbooking style changes. If I know what I like to look at myself, and you can draw inspiration from absolutely anyone. There is so many amazing YouTube content creators in the scrapbooking world, and it doesn't mean that's how I scrapbook, but I watch them because I think they're amazing. They've literally paved the way for a different way of scrapbooking. Now, I remember ages, I'm going to go on a bit of a squirrel here. I remember years and years and years ago, the reason I started scrapbooking, one, I'm a creative and I like to have a creative outlet. Two, I was trying to lose weight and I had just had a really bad car accident and I needed to lose weight because, yeah, it wasn't good. And I knew if I was scrapbooking and doing something with my hands when I wasn't working, I knew that I wasn't going to be eating. Like, no one scrapbooking eats a packet of Doritos at the same time. You get what I'm saying? You know, or Cheezels or Twisties. You don't eat anything that's going to leave a stain on your hands. Here's my title cut out on my CRICUT, and I used the font called Flash. I am doing a separate little video as to how I did this. I had a lady ask me, I think her name was Shayna, if I could create a little how-to as to how I do my titles. And so I will have that up in the next couple of days because it's something that I'm striving to have a sort of a split screen so you can see what my CRICUT's doing whilst you can see what it's doing on the computer. So I'm trying to split screen it so you can literally see if your CRICUT's doing the same thing at the same time and the computer. Do you know what I mean? So I really want to bring that to you in a good, easy, watchable format. So just bear with me, and I am doing that. So, okay, so what you've just seen me do there is so this is my old broken dead knockoff mat that I've been using for ages. I use it so I have a third hand, okay? Basically, I don't care if the mixed media gets on the mat, doesn't bother me. It's broken at the bottom, as you can see, and it just allows me to put my letters on there so I can have a third hand, really. Not get ink all over myself, because that is the one thing that I struggle with the Distress Oxides. It's that oxidized chalky feeling that I don't like. But that's just me. I don't like sticks of chalk either. I've used them many, many, many times, especially in my childcare career, but it doesn't mean I like it on my hands. I hate how it dries them out. Okay, so what else can I tell you? The colours that I've used, I think I mentioned it before, but I will have them all listed below. I will also have all the things that I've used, I will have listed below. Now, the yellow cardstock that I did matte my photo with is actually a Creative Memories colour. I don't know if you can get it anymore. I'm not sure. I would look. I'd say you could, but I don't even know the exact colour. I think it's gold. I think that's what it's called. So this is how I create my crazy little titles. It is so easy. I actually timed it, and I hadn't timed it before, but I think the entire process took me like 4 minutes. 4 minutes to put it in the computer, shoot it over to Jiminy, and have it cut out, and then the colouring and gluing it together was the hardest part. So, and it looks really pretty. It comes up really, really nice. And see, I don't even take that excess ink off that mat because it doesn't bother me. Those mats, they're so cheap on Amazon AU, like, doesn't faze me one little bit. Okay, so, sorry, my phone rang. Okay, so now what I'm doing is just very quickly, I didn't raise my title up. I just wanted to put it all down. I want this to just be solely about the colour, just lots and lots of colour, in your face colour. That's what I wanted to do with this. Now, these butterflies, this is where I was saying it'll carry you over from one layout to the next one. So these two will go side by side, ready for a party, and what's up doc will go next to each other, and they're using the same papers, same strips of paper, I guess I should say. And yeah, it will flow. There's these butterflies. This was a cut apart sheet in the paper pad, and I went over them with Ranger Stickles MOONDUST, and it's called MOONDUST, and it's a Stickles gel, and I got that from Crazy Craft Obsessions, and they're a New South Wales company, husband and wife, and they are the Stickles. Wow, love them, absolutely love it. It goes on, the glitter goes on and doesn't come off, and that's why I wanted to use these butterflies, because I wanted to have the butterflies on both sides so it flowed across. Now, what I did notice at this point, I was going to go around the top and the bottom of where the paper shards are with my black Posca paint pen, right? But I'm talking to my daughter at the moment, by the way, in case you're curious. See me pointing? I'm trying to explain and then realize that the video was still going. I'm trying to explain to my daughter what I actually want the CRICUT explanation, CRICUT title video. I'm trying to explain to her that I want it in a split screen situation. So I'm old school and I struggle with just do it. It's all right. You can't break it. Because when I was raised, it was don't touch. You break it, you bought it. Don't touch anything in the shops, because if you touch it, you break it, look out. That's how I was raised. You know, nothing like a Gen X raised by a baby boomer. Trust me. So I don't like just clicking and clacking and hoping for the best. That doesn't work for me. So, but I will get that video up as soon as I've got it how I want it, because I know how I want it to look when you press play. I want it to be in-depth enough that I can explain it, voice over it, and I want you to be able to see the computer, what it's doing, at the same time as what the CRICUT's doing. That's what I want to do. So here's the close-up, guys. This is I love this layout. Honestly, I absolutely love it. It was my daughter, Kassan's 21st, and it turned out beautiful. I absolutely love it. All those colors and all that gold, it's just beautiful. And that's about it. So if you're new to my channel, that is my Aussie waffle, and I will be back with another video tomorrow. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I'll chat to you soon. Thanks guys. Bye.